Hey guys, Giants beat reporter Zach Rosenblatt here from NJ Advanced Media, and this is your latest update powered by the Talk is Cheap podcast. The Giants finished the season 6-10 after beating the Dallas Cowboys in the final game of the season when they were eliminated from the playoffs later that night when the Eagles failed to beat Washington. It marks the 8th time in 9 seasons that the Giants have failed to make the postseason, a major disappointment for a once proud organization. Despite the continued mediocrity, co-owner John Mara decided not to fire general manager Dave Gettleman, whose mistakes over the first 2 years he was GM are largely the reason why the Giants fell short this year. Mara said he didn't even seriously consider moving on from Gettleman, which came as a surprise to some, but he was happy with the work the Giants did in 2020 with Joe Judge as head coach. Now that Gettleman is returning and the offseason has arrived, the Giants will turn their attention to some important decisions that will need to be made. They're currently projected to have around $10 million in cap space this offseason, but can clear more by cutting such players as Golden Tate, Nate Solder, Riley Dixon, Levine Toilolo, David Mayo, and even Kevin Zeitler. Their most notable impending free agents include Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams, but they likely won't be able to afford to keep both of them. Williams could earn as much as $20 million per season as a free agent after a stellar year where he finished with a career-high 11.5 sacks. Tomlinson is projected to earn somewhere in the $12 to $15 million per year range as one of the NFL's best run-stopping nose tackles. Williams is the better player and should be the priority for the Giants, who gave up a lot to get him in a trade with the Jets last year. The Giants' biggest need this offseason is at wide receiver, especially once they inevitably cut Golden Tate, who was a major disappointment after signing a big contract in 2019. The group had a bad year in 2019 and needs a lot of help, and this free agency class at the position is deep as it's ever been, with such players leading it as Allen Robinson of the Bears, Kenny Golladay of the Lions, Will Fuller of the Texans, Juju Smith-Schuster of the Steelers, Chris Godwin of the Buccaneers, Curtis Samuel of the Panthers, Nelson Aguilar of the Raiders, and Marvin Jones of the Lions are among those expected to become available. The Giants could also try to draft a receiver with their 11th overall pick. Their top options potentially include 2 Alabama stars in Jalen Waddle and Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith. The Giants extended the contract of defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, keeping one of their most important figures from 2020 in the building after he was about to interview for the Jets' head coaching job. They still could lose offensive coordinator Jason Garrett. The offense was bad this year, scoring only 17.5 points per game, which only the Jets scored less. But Garrett still got an interview for the Chargers' head coaching job this week, largely because of the success he had over 9 years as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. Dave Gettleman said on Wednesday that he was antsy about the prospect of losing Garrett, though it might be good for the Giants to find a new voice to run one of the NFL's worst offenses. If Garrett left, Joe Judge could promote tight ends coach Freddie Kitchens to offensive coordinator after his experience with the Cleveland Browns, or hire someone from outside the building, like Chad O'Shea, who is with the Browns now and worked with Judge when they were with the Patriots. For all the latest Giants news, turn to the sports section of NJ.com and download the Talk is Cheap podcast wherever podcasts are available.
Looking for a new podcast to listen to? Here's what we love, courtesy of Acast Recommends.
Hey there, this is Amari Jones. I'm a Black trans woman, a journalist, and a storyteller. With all my heart, I believe trans people telling our stories will save our lives. That's why I host the Translash podcast. You see, people just don't see us as human. Our stories are everywhere. We're being talked about, but not heard from. That's why you will hear trans people and our allies talk back about what matters. So come join us on this fun and insightful journey to learn and laugh and hear my shade. You can hear the Translash podcast every other Thursday. Subscribe wherever you listen.
Acast
recommends.